Here we are at the sliding centre at Eagles, just up the mountain from Innsbruck in Austria. And this track was a first in the world. Not the first artificial track, that was Koenigsegg, but the first that was built with bobsleigh and luge in mind. For the 76 games, unlike the 64 games here, it was all held on one track. So this is actually part of the 1964 luge track, which was separate from the bobsleigh track. Now it's the road that you use to go up and down to the start and finish area. But here are the walls of the track. So on a natural track, when you have to build a big corner, and it's the same in St. Moritz still, Horseshoe and Sunny, you have a wall, a stone wall or a brick wall, and that's what you pack the snow and ice up against. So this is still a little remnant of the 64 Olympic track. And I wonder how many bobsledders and skeleton athletes and luge athletes, when they're sitting in the back of the truck going up and down, actually even know that that's what this is. This is one of the key corners here on the modern track at Innsbruck. It's the Kreisel. It's a 360-degree corner. You come in over the top, drop down and disappear out underneath. And just compare the height of this to those luge curves we were looking at a few minutes ago. The speeds are much higher. Of course, they are modern equipment. Even in the 70s compared to the 60s, it was another step forward. But it's a big corner, it's a signature corner. And this is real decider for speed on this track. If you get the entry to Kreisel and Kreisel right, then you're gonna be quick all the way down the bottom. Now, previously, the track finished actually right under the Olympic ski piste. But that's all changed. This year, Innsbruck has got a very different look. And bizarrely, it's just round the corner from Kreisel. So here's the Kreisel behind us. This is quite unusual for me. I've been coming to Innsbruck for over 20 years, and the finish is now right here. So actually for fans, it's fantastic because you can watch racing in the Kreisel, and then you can be right down at the finish and watch the athletes celebrating at the end of the event. So there's a lot going on here. Sleds are coming up here into the finishing area, the end of the braking stretch, and they'll come out here. Right beside me here is the podium, and this is where the sleds, the runners, will all be taken off down to the trucks. And this huge new operation building here as well. So this will have the timekeepers, it'll have the race control, the jury and so on, and a changing room for the athletes as well. That's 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. So the labyrinth has changed a little in nature and in feel. This is something I'm going to have to get used to, the athletes are going to have to get used to. As you came out of the labyrinth, big final corner, left-hander, and then one right-hander after the finish line to take you through into the finish area. Now you're going left and left up the hill. So, okay, turning left instead of turning right. But when they've had that repetition, and some of them will have been coming here 15, maybe 20 years as a kid and then as an adult, it's different. It's like if they change the last turning to your house when you're driving home, it's going to take a while to get used to that. And hopefully you won't be doing the sort of speeds they're doing either. It's funny, you take something away and suddenly you're going, hang on a minute, where was it? Well, the track actually came in here underneath where the concrete hopper is there, the gravel hopper. So the track was here and this was the finish area, but the braking stretch was in under the mountain. So you can see above it the cable car, and that was one of the Olympic ski pistes. And the problem with mountains is you can't move them very easily, particularly when they're still being used for skiing. So they used to go up on the brakes into the tunnel there. So it was occasionally just a little bit sketchy for the skeleton athletes and the bobsleigh athletes, and I'm sure the luge athletes as well. But yeah, it was just a feature of the Innsbruck track that you finished in the tunnel. So that's gone. Now, instead of sweeping uphill, they go uphill right behind us. In fact, you can turn around right behind you and you can see the final corner, and the finish is just further up the hill. Yeah, it's going to be really interesting to see how it works, but good to come and get a mental picture of where the new element of the track goes. So it's very cool. I think they've done a really good looking job here.